Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm glad to see you back, and it's naturally not. Guess what?
I'm back.
Yeah, so we're going to have some good videoing. Not that I don't do videoing well, but as you know, I have it staged as a set camera, and this won't be the case today. Today, I'm going to continue with with what we talked about, and I had a video about several weeks ago, which was dips for snacking. Because not just for happy hour, but anytime. We had a dip Danielle and I did last night that was pretty good. We made it with a local person's mix, but it's not as good as the disc dip that we're going to have today. And just set this off the heat for a second so I can keep talking. I know that's flaming hot. Do you remember the 1970s dip? I think it was called French onion dip, and they still sell it in containers, pre-made. It's not very good. But you could make it by buying the dried onion soup mix. You remember that, Daniel? French onion dip? And it was
Well, not from the 70s, no. But yes, you can buy the French onion soup packets and make the dip. I do that all the time, yeah.
Yeah, people still like them. They're good. If it's at a party and somebody's made it, I'm on it, right? It's like ranch. How does it possibly bad if somebody made at least it halfway homemade? The only thing is, if you look at the back, and I didn't grab one from downstairs in the basement, because I have some. I use it for making various savory dishes, but it's really high in sodium, and that's not great. And it has chemicals in it, and that's not great. So we're going to make my version of that will blow your socks off. So it's like the French onion dip, but entirely from scratch. What we'll start off with, and of course I'll post the video, I've been really good about that lately, is some hot, shimmering oil in a big pan. Okay, I've got about 1 or 2 tablespoons in there. Again, I'll put the recipe in the show notes below in my little message. I'm going to take an onion. The best thing to use is Vidalia, white onion. Vidalia is good. My mom and dad had some. As you know, Mom was in a video that I just posted a few weeks ago. Vidalia onions are great, but they're not common out west, or at least where I live. So I just got a good quality white onion here. And what I did was slice it up into smooths. And what we're going to do to make this French onion dip is we're going to add it to the oil, and we're going to, what a great sound that makes, we're going to caramelize these onions. Okay, bring them brown, in other words, like you see all the chefy people do. And that may take a while. It smells wonderful. And in the interim of letting these go, and I'm going to turn the heat down, it's on medium-high, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this dip. Now, you don't have to stir it the whole time. In fact, you can slightly multitask when you're doing this. I'm turning it down a little bit lower, and I'll tell you what other ingredients are in it. This is your key ingredient. The old, I've heard people call it the Dub sauce, the Worcestershire, the Worcestershire. I don't know, what do you call it?
It's Worcestershire.
Okay. This is what I feel the key ingredient to that French onion dip mix that people made in the 70s and the 80s. It was so good. Now, I can't say that with certain as a chemist, but I'm pretty darn sure that this is the key. And you don't even have to buy the fancy kind. You just need to have that and plenty of it. Then you're going to need salt. I got sea salt. Don't go crazy with it. Garlic, or you can use garlic salt. But then if you want more garlic, then you're ending up getting more salt. That's not necessarily a good thing. Onion powder.
Onion powder with the onions.
Yep, onion powder with the onions. Yep. You're going to need Greek yogurt plain, not vanilla, plain. 1 cup. And you're going to need...
Not key lime pie? Not raspberry?
No. You're going to need 6 to 8 ounces of cream cheese. Okay? A little bit less if you're trying to watch your calories. And you want your cream cheese to be at room temperature. So I took mine out about an hour and a half ago, actually. Now, as you start to see, that's what you're looking for. See how they're starting to get a little bit
brown.
Yep. And you're getting this fond started on the pan.
This what?
Fond, F-O-N-D. I think that's how that's spelled. That's the food buildup on the pan, right? There's probably a chemical definition that I could bore you with what's going on, but everybody knows what it is. It's where the flavor hides. And that's what we got going on here. And I'm not going to stir it too periodically. Let me talk to you about a few cheats to make this go faster, besides too high a heat. You don't want to do that because you don't want to burn it, right? A little bit of balsamic vinegar thrown in that will make that go faster. Also, a little bit of brown sugar if you have a tablespoon. I wouldn't say a tablespoon. Maybe a teaspoon of that thrown in here. That'll make that go faster because the sugars help and to break this down and get this to the caramelized stage that we want. And I might do that as a cheat. Sometimes people say, like, originally when I found this recipe, and I found this recipe on a television cooking show on the Food Network. I can't even remember. It's been, I have in here in my show notes here that this is, I found this recipe in October of 2019. I do that with all my recipes. I don't know if you guys do that. Do you do that? Do you write them down? Do you print them out? Do you do this? I always wonder about that. Do you write them down like this?
No, I do not.
No, I wonder if people still do that.
Oh my gosh.
These are my this stack of, I don't know, 100 is my most well-used recipes, and they look crummy because they're used like mad. And I keep these and many, many boxes. I'm meant to do an episode on that, and I will, when I talk about recipes and how you do your recipes in a future video. But these I keep like this because I'm using them all the time, right? Some of them, I don't even know why I look at them, because I already know how to make whatever it is without looking at it anymore. But it makes me feel confident to have it close by. Also, if you have a friend over, a lot of times they say, can I see your recipe? You should always print it out or write it down so you can share that. If you want to share it. If you don't want to share it, you don't have to. Where do you keep your recipes, Daniel?
In my cookbooks that I have, that I don't have a lot of.
Inside your cookbooks?
Well, yeah, the recipes in the cookbooks. I have a family cookbook. I do have a few boxes of recipes from my mom and my grandmother. But the last time I've used one of those, who knows?
Right. Is that because you haven't made something for a long time, or is that because you know it so well you don't have to get it out to look at it?
Oh no, it's because I've been, like, those are in storage somewhere. I don't have access to them. So otherwise, I just use from the internet.
Right. Like most of us do. Look how this is gaining some color. Yeah, a lot of times I'll hear chefs on the Food Network say, and I'll look on recipes and they'll say to do this for 45 minutes. Have you done it for 45 minutes? I never have. I don't have the patience.
No.
I guess if I'm making true caramelized onions for something really fancy, like I think you and I made a gourmet hamburger one time on the grill. I think I did go until they got jammy. Do you need to get jammy in this recipe? I'm going to say you need to get close. So whether you take a shortcut like I'm going to do right now to speed it up a little, or whether you don't, you really do want them to get full of flavor. Okay? So this is just some no-name.
Balsamic vinegar, you said?
No-name balsamic. We'll throw that in here.
Just to help break down the onion a little bit?
I think that's what it does. And then anybody who's followed my channel for any amount of time, because I have at least 2 vinegar videos. One of them is not even probably posted yet. I love vinegar, so I love the taste. In fact, a German potato salad. I think I'm going to show you guys how to make a hot German potato salad this summer. Sadly, Daniel probably won't be here, so that will be one of those one-take wonders that I do. Because I don't know if Daniel and I will have time to make that. We might.
Maybe. I'll try and get back into town sometime soon.
Yeah. Well, what does that air smell like in here?
Oh, it smells really, well, it smells like vinegar onions, but yes, it smells really good.
It smells really good. Alright, we're going to just let that sit maybe for a minute, because the heat is going. These are coming along just nice. We can go ahead and get our bowl prepped and the stuff that we needed while we're waiting for that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the Greek yogurt in. Okay? So I went through a period, when I was super fit, which is every couple of years I get super fit and then I don't, where I made all my dips with Greek yogurt, and a friend of mine who is no longer with us, used to joke that my dips were not very flavorful. So I think it's good to have some fat. And the fat in this dip is mainly going to come in the form of this full-fledged cream cheese that is going to impart so much flavor and unctuousness. I'm double checking the amount because I'm also making something today later with cream cheese in it. And it says, yep, 6 to 8 ounces. And that was a little shy. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more. There we go. That'll be closer to the name, or to the amount that we're going to need. I might as well go ahead and give this another stir. Ooh, they're coming along nice.
Getting some good color.
Yep, getting some good color. I'm trying to remember if I ever put in my notes. Nope. I never put any fresh garlic in. Boy, that would make it really pungent. I don't always do that. Depends on the recipe. Not this one. I'm going to put in, my notes say to put in a half a teaspoon. Measure with love, but maybe this time I'll be really accurate. Half a teaspoon garlic powder. We'll also go ahead and put in the same of the onion. This is a no brand. I have it in a fancy glass jar, but this is a no brand. I'm going to make that a generous heaping because after all, the onion's the star of the show. And then the amount of Worcestershire, I have here 3 teaspoons, but I'm going to go ahead and put in more.
Worcestershire.
So, Worcestershire, what did I say?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
It's Worcestershire.
W sauce.
I actually looked that up.
You did?
Yes, that's why I say it like that.
I'm going to probably put more in. This is where you're going to want to do it to taste. And I'm not using garlic salt. I'm using regular salt. Should I use kosher? Oh, that'll be too much. I'm going to use this Himalayan salt. Try to go a little bit light. I'm going to probably put more in. Ooh, look at that. Now we're getting some color. We're also getting a little bit of burning. And some of that is not actually. Some of it is a little bit of the paper. Sometimes when you're cutting an onion, there'll be one layer that is not really paper, but it's half like this. Half paper, half onion. And those are easy to miss. That's what I'm pulling out. They don't really add much flavor.
You're not fond of those.
Yes, I'm not fond of those. I am fond of the fond on this pan, though. Okay, I'm going to say, while that's not jammy, it's close to it.
And we've been cooking for over 10 minutes, so.
Mm-hmm. And again, a lot of recipes will say go a whole 45. That's if you want it super jammy. And I'm going to call this, if there's a technical word, I'm going to call this partially jammy. I don't want them super jammy, but I do want them to be broken down, thoroughly cooked, and a little bit of golden brown, and that's exactly what we've got. I'll go ahead and throw away those little bits, or you can eat them. There's nothing wrong with them.
If you want to eat burnt onion paper.
Yeah, exactly. There's 2 right there. I just won't get those. I'll leave them in the pan. I'll tell you what, if you had something else you wanted to cook next, maybe cook up a pork chop, this pan would be great for that because all that would come up and that would be so yummy. But we're not going to do that. But we are going to have pork chops later this week.
Yeah, we do have those pork chops, and now, thanks a lot. Now I'm like, ooh, pork chops.
Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead, and I think the original recipe didn't say to do this, and then you ended up with long things of onion in your mouth. Also, the original recipe that I found said that you could top the mixed dip with some scallions or green onions chopped up, and that's good too. I have chives, so I'll probably take a still of this for this video, and I will use chives to decorate the dip, because I mean, why not? They're from the onion family and they look pretty. They're not just about looks, right? I'm gonna use my bench scraper to go ahead and pull that up, make sure that's all. I think it's pretty good. Can you dial in on there so they know what a good rough chop looks like? So they're not perfect, but they don't need to be, okay? But you want them chopped roughly, so there's a couple bigger bites here and there. You don't need to be...
They're perfect just the way they are.
Yes, because this isn't one of those things where the sharp sharp dice matters. It doesn't matter in this case. Well, they are feeling jammy. I can tell just by the feel that they are exactly where I want them.
Do I need to start a count for how many times you say jammy?
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. That would be cute. Well, go ahead. You could do this by hand, but I got my mixer. Now, if we take a look at it, this looks just like that dip. We haven't prettied it up, but do you see the color? Doesn't that color remind you of the dip?
Yep.
When you'd add that mix right out of that envelope to your ingredients, and that dip only used sour cream, if I remember. It was sour cream, and then the package that came in the box that you would buy.
Which is about my level of cooking, yes.
Yeah, and it's good. No doubt about it. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Look and see. You want to make sure that you've got all those chunks of cream cheese blended. And I'm going to have to get out a tasting spoon or two. Get out a few. To see if this is where we need to be. Maybe a little salt. I'm going to use kosher. Just a little. Okay. I'm also going to put in, and I told you I was going to do it.
A little more Worcestershire sauce?
Yep. I'm not even going to use the mixer. I think I can just...
Now, a little elbow grease?
Yep. You know what you could throw in? I have dried scallions. I could throw those in. Freeze-dried ones. Those would be good. They'd hydrate. If you do that, throw in a little handful just for onion variety. You're going to have to keep it in the refrigerator for an hour to have the flavors meld. Yeah, we'll try another one.
Yes, that's one.
I'll be right back. Hold that if you want. Dial in on the dip. I'm going to grab something and we're going to give it the Daniel test.
Oh, the Daniel test.
With what goes with this kind of thing? Potato chips. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
You want to try one?
Absolutely. Thank you. Just a little dip there.
Tell me if it needs some salt. I don't think it needs any Worcestershire.
Probably could use a little more salt.
Yep, a little more. So I'm going to give it
Another pinch.
Another pinch. You don't ever want to go crazy with the salt because, of course, it's not the best for you. But also, salt leaches liquid out in things, and you don't want this to be runny. Remember, and every time you make a dip that's runny, there isn't much you can do to thicken it up. With this one, you could add more cream cheese, but that would be it. Now I'm going to try it myself and save one for Daniel.
Let's see here. And here. Ding.
Ding.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to let it chill. I'm going to decorate it with some fresh chives cut out of my herb garden. And we're going to eat this later on with our dinner. Make this dip. Like I said a couple weeks ago I shared with you some dips. Those got some good hits. Make this dip Serve it for your friends. The longer it sits, the better it gets. You could add a little more cream cheese. I might, but I think this is gonna get solid, thicken up in the refrigerator after I let it sit for an hour or so. But try it when you're sitting around. Doesn't need to be happy hour. Potato chips and some homemade dip, or be healthier and have some celery or carrots, or cauliflower and homemade dip. You won't miss the stuff that you used to make in the box. Although that's good, you won't miss it. Thanks for watching today. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want notifications. Feel free to leave a comment, and I will see you next time.